Jake Paul has been slammed by many UFC fighters for his actions. There are mixed opinions. According to a report by SB Nation, Jake Paul vs. Ben Askren card sold 1.5 million pay-per-views, while on the other side, UFC 261 featuring the best champions and fighters of the UFC like Weili Zhang, Kamaru Usman, George Masvidal, and Rose Namajunas sold merely 700,000 pay-per-views. The major problem that other fighters have with Jake Paul is that somebody who is not a trained fighter gets 1.3 pay-per-view buys, which is far more than many professional fighters who are putting blood and sweat in the sport. Hey guys, we are back with another amazing video, and today we're going to be talking about the views and opinions of several UFC fighters about Jake Paul. So, make sure you watch the whole video, plus don't forget to hit the bell icon. With that being said, let's get into it straight. The UFC president Dana White, in the post-fight conference of UFC 261, shared his opinions about Jake Paul and the network service Triller, saying that he did not believe anything they said, that it was a circus and none of that was real. He said he built a real business, a real sport. After which many people called White a hypocrite and egoistic who cannot appreciate other combat sports except his own. After this, Paul responded to these remarks of White in a tweet, pointing out that he has made more money in just 3 professional fights than most of the UFC's top fighters have made in their whole career. He questions the very low pay of UFC fighters, which cannot even support them. When on one side many people call Paul a man of his word and White and his bureaucratic team evil characters, there are fighters who simply hate him and have a lot to say about his actions and stunts. Uriah Hall, UFC middleweight champion, was asked in an interview about Jake Paul and how he makes more money by getting 1.3 million pay-per-views despite not being a trained fighter. The interviewer said to Hall that of course you are a prize fighter and you fight for prize and money, to which he laughed and thanked the interviewer for bringing this up. Hall then said that at the end of the day, it is a great business move, but it is just a disappointment too. Some people are selling that and he gets it. Then he said he was working his ass off, literally dying, and Jake comes out there, says a couple of shit, and he knows what Jake's doing, and Hall further took his anger out by saying, "To be honest, this guy sucks. He sucks. He really sucks. And look who is picking, so I get it." You know, from a business point of view and a business standpoint, a YouTube fighter going out there or a YouTube person just going out there and people are feeding off of that shit because you have people that hate him and then you have people that love him. But you still gotta watch him. It's a genius move, but at the same time, it's like it humiliates what I call real athletes that really put in the time and work. And I know guys behind me not even making that much. I know guys out there, right out there, that are not making much more than the ring card girls. The interviewer then asked him if he comes knocking on your door and wants you to be his next Ben Askren. What would you tell him? To which all responded that he would tell him, "I'm gonna knock you out and thanks for the opportunity," and I would kill Paul and tell him, "Bro, I would literally beat you with one hand. You do not deserve my right hand and I will do it for free. This is how confident I am, boy." This shows the rage that fighters have for Paul. Anthony Smith, the UFC light heavyweight champ, was asked by the interviewer that Damon Martin texted me to ask you if you are a fan of Jake Paul. Okay, that is kind of, wow, that's kind of triggering to ask somebody, but alright, so he asked him if he's a fan of Jake Paul yet, and that he does not have an answer to it. To which Smith said, "Damn it, no, I'm not a huge fan of Jake Paul, that is for sure." Then he was asked if Paul gives an insight on how to make money in his combat sports game. Smith said that anyone who has followed my career knows how I operate. He is generating money, that is true, but he is not bringing their pay scale up and Paul's just paying himself. And he respects everyone, but the way Jake Paul talked to Ben Askren, he had really big problems with that when he said that Ben was not being able to talk about fighting. Like, that is the kind of stuff Smith was talking about. Moreover, Smith said that as far as the business in the game was concerned and the marketing part of that and the way Paul is generating interest and the financial part of it, Jake Paul is doing a phenomenal job, and Smith does not expect Paul to fight world champion fighters. And that he has not been long in the game, and that is not his fault. and Paul is approaching in the right way, and if he trains really hard and puts in the work and effort, then he can do something because everyone has a right to get punched in the face for money. But he cannot tolerate no disrespect in the game that deserve to be respected. So Anthony discussed both positive and negative points of Jake Paul, and his answer was quite logical. Right, guys? Chris Weidman, UFC middleweight champ, when asked about the Jake vs. Askren fight, said that he cannot believe what he just watched, and he called it kind of annoying hell to watch as a fighter. Even though he liked the commentating, everything was very disrespectful to actual fighters in the boxing ring, and the whole event was super weird. As far as Jake Paul and Ben Askren were concerned, Ben Askren is a guy who's an Olympian, and he has accomplished so much, so he got respect for him with what he has accomplished in MMA, and Weidman was a big fan of Askren since he was a kid. And Ben was known for not having hands at all, although he was good at MMA, so it's pretty cool, I suppose. And now we have to deal with Jake Paul's elevated ego and his whole squad calling out MMA guys, and someone needs to put an end to this. Weidman said that I'm not going to be egotistic, it's just not me, alright? And honestly, do not be egotistic. But, what that guy has earned to deserve is to fight the best. And no matter how much he is going to be paid, he will not give Paul the opportunity and will fight the best people in the sport. Henry Cejudo said in a video that even though Jack beat up a mediocre guy that just knows nothing but wrestles with mediocre hands like Ben, he felt bad at the same time that he's just annoyed because he did talk a lot. And if you are going to go out there and have to actually perform, and if Kudo goes out there and here he is, he's going to compete and get his hand raised. Uriah Faber said that he feels like Jake is legit passionate about fight sports and passionate about fighting, and that he has done that entertainment and social media thing, and he has got a lot of hate for that. And you cannot hate somebody for winning a fight. Stephen Thompson said that he would crush Jake Paul for once because as an athlete, it doesn't make sense, and these guys are not worthy to step in the cage or ring. And from the business aspect, they are doing great, but the athlete in him is like, why is this even happening? So everyone has different opinions. Some people regard Jake Paul as the hero, while others just want to kill him and hate him. What's your opinion? Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to save us by the bell. Give this video a thumbs up. Meet you in the next video.